All right, we've had quite the roller coaster of the last couple of days coming in here. I haven't made an update, so we're doing that today. A couple of really important things have happened and are going to happen in the near future. First of all, we're going to look at the SPY here. The SPY came down and hit the 200-day moving average. Well, it got within spitting distance, close enough for us to say that it, in fact, touched it. All right, it got close enough, and you can see we're getting a nice little bounce here off of that specific move there. Now, in order for us to get bullish again, honestly, we really need to get above 600 again. Honestly, that's like kind of where we really need to go, and that is kind of where we are expecting to go. I'd really like to see it get back up above. Let's see. Let's do. I have drawings from when I was doing a chart there. Yeah, about right there, above this yellow highlighted line right there. Right above that, which in this instance tomorrow, it's not going to happen today, but tomorrow that would be about 587, 60 something, somewhere in there before we're getting any kind of, breaking of this, this aggressive downtrend that we have been in on SPY for the last several days. So that is kind of the overall thing. If we lose the 200-day moving average, things get bad. Okay, so keep that in mind. We could, if we break 600, we're gonna, obviously we're gonna run for the highs again, maybe even crack 620. If that is the case, we are watching that closely. The other thing, so we're looking for a reversal on that. Same with Qs. Same with the Qs. We came down, we hit the 200-day moving average. We're bouncing off of that bad boy. We want to see it come out of this aggressive downtrend, make a high above these moving averages here at about 517.35. And then potentially go for a brand new high again, which would be a pretty nice swing if you're running options on the Qs. And of course, nothing I say is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. The other thing I wanted to check in on, okay, Bitcoin. Bitcoin got super dicey. It got super, super dicey down here. We got some really ugly weekly candles. Now it's starting to look kind of okay, not great. We're still not out of the woods though yet. Okay, I did cut some things to reduce my exposure for the time being, but not everything. I cut a few things, but not everything. Like my higher risk crypto, I cut. Some of my miners, I cut. We'll talk about that here in a moment. But Bitcoin came down, hit the 200-day moving average. We touched this thing twice. We went below it. Or we touched this thing 3 times. We went below it twice with the wicks there, and we are closing above this big, ugly, disgusting candle that came in there on March 3rd. Was just super, super demoralizing. That one was a rough day for me, probably for you as well. We really need to see price get back above the 50-day moving average, which is currently at 94,414. It has to get above that. Okay, if it cannot get above that, that is a major, major, major problem. And if we come down, like let's say any longs I have all get liquidated at this white line down here, which is at about $74,000. Anything, Bitcoin even like kisses beneath that level, right? Just kind of like scoops down and then comes right back up. Any rips I'm going to be selling off in that scenario, because that would tell me that things are way worse than I thought if it is to do that. Okay, and just hitting this 200-day moving average caused me to de-risk a little bit. I didn't like completely sell out, but I did get out of my IREN. Not all of it, but most of it. I was still holding on to about 30% profit here on this day. So I cut most of my profit. Actually, it's slightly higher in price than the current price. So I'm still doing okay there. It did still continue to fall further. So yeah, IREN, I got out of a lot of it. Now, does that mean that I won't get back into it? Does that mean that it's done for? Not necessarily. It could come back up. And it could come from off of these lows. That could have been the low here just yesterday at 683-ish. But yes, I cut about, 80% of my IREN on March 3rd, just over $8 as it was coming down, because I saw that Bitcoin was going down into the 80s. It doesn't look like we're getting the kind of volumes I want to see, and I had too much exposure to the space in my portfolio, so I had to de-risk while I still had some profits left. I did some de-risking. Okay, Mara, I also cut Mara for now for a short time. I really need to see Mara show me some strength before I'm back in on it. I trimmed a little bit of my clean spark warrants Not much of them. I trimmed like 10% on my clean spark warrants, just to, again, de-risk. I had too much exposure to this sector. I was losing profits, so it was time to start doing some trimming just in case the big dip was yet to come. All right, so that's basically what's going on there. And over the tomorrow, I'll do a little more TA with the miners, and we'll talk a little bit more about some other ones. Solana scared us to death here, came all the way down to 126. I put a stop loss at 120, so if I lose 120, I'm out of the majority of my Solana for now, and I'll let it reset somewhere at like $80 or something, and then buy more. But yeah, I don't think it's done. I don't think it's done ripping. I think it will continue to go up, but if it drops beneath 120, I don't want to back hold, waiting for it to bottom out somewhere at 60. I want it to come down there, and I want to double down when it gets there. Ethereum is still interesting. Oh yeah, some of these things hit my levels that I expected. See, like Bitfarms, actually I have fast internet today. Bitfarms got so close to $1. We went to $1.06. I got out of this thing in the mid $2 range. If you remember, I got out before that. I got out like up over here at like 240-ish, saying that it could come down to $1, and we basically got there this week. Bit Digital, I got out over $3. I got out in the mid $3 range, and it came down exactly to where I thought it would, which is in the it went sub 250 there. Went right almost to the bottom of this structure over here. Will we hit $2? I don't know. If the crypto summit at the White House on Friday, March 7th, does not go well, I would expect us to hit all of the lowest supports on all of our favorite tickers here on TradeCave. So be aware of that. Friday is going to be a big day. We also got, today, private sector jobs came in at 50% under expectation today, the day after the Fed released its expectations of Q1 GDP being negative 2.8%. So we got negative 2.8% GDP expected in Q1 2025. We have half the expected amount of new jobs in the private sector in February. Okay, if Jay Powell speaks on Friday, if he does not sound dovish, we got a problem. White House Crypto Summit is Friday. If that is not absolutely stellar, we've got a problem. Even if the Fed is dovish, if it doesn't sound like he's ready to continue to cut rates, that is a problem. So pay attention to those things. Those are all extremely recessionary, those two reads. So pay attention to those. Friday is going to be a big deal, a huge deal. We've got Jay Powell speaking. He's got to sound dovish. We've got the White House Crypto Summit. That's got to go well. Those two things don't align. We're going to have a real bad time. Okay, so watch that Friday and be ready for it. Expect it. Soxol, the semiconductors have been getting hammered lately. We came down pretty hard. We went sub $20 yesterday. That was rough. I'm down a lot on those. I was buying since about high 20s, like high to mid 20s, like 26, 27. So I'm down a significant amount on that. I don't think it's quite done yet, because especially after today, we had like a nice move on most of the semiconductors. So I'll have a look at that. Oh, Vert. Yeah, okay. We came back down to the 80s. So this big mountain of price action that we had here back, because I was talking about it back here at like 88-ish, and it ran all the way up to 150. Now we're back there. We're back at 88 again. Okay. I'm still watching this one. It hasn't broken my line yet. So let me delete that. This is where my stop loss was, like the area I was thinking maybe my idea was invalidated. Honestly, yeah, it's got to break that line. Then I'm looking at this yellow line as a potential area where we could have some trouble. And ultimately, honestly, yeah, I'd be looking around this white line, which I'm going to turn green as my potential endpoint there. And let's make this one white. This is kind of like the line I'm looking for it to break. So what I want to see is come down, break it, come and touch this red line one more time from the other side, and then close a candle above 88, 89, or preferably above 90, and then close a candle above 90, and then see it move up into the hundreds from there. That's what I'm watching on Vertiv. So I will likely pick some of that up as we go here. Tesla gave us a little bit of a jump today, a little bit of a move up. So we came all the way down on Tesla, all the way down $261.80. We're getting a little bit of a move up today, but we're not getting back above the 200-day moving average. So I am still cautious on this. I am still looking at it potentially coming down into the 250 to 240 range. In that range, I will be backing up the truck for some Tesla, and I move back up into the mid 300s, maybe even 400s from that point on. So we're watching Tesla for that. It needs to conquer the 200-day moving average for us to say it's going to continue to go up. If it fails there, we're looking at 250 to 240 as a potential area to load up on Tesla, of course. Is there anything else I wanted to talk about? Palantir still kind of like moving around. Not particularly at this time. Coin is looking really good right now. Turn off some of these drawings. It's paralyzing. Coin is looking decent. All right, came to the bottom of this dotted line here, which is the Watson envelope, and wrote it, and then it's starting to stack green candles on top of each other. If we can get a closure in like the next couple of days above 232, preferably above 235.78, honestly, that's where the 200-day moving average is. We get a closure above that. I think we're in business here to up to the the high 200s before we these moving averages drag us down, and then we'll fight our way up above 300, and then above 300, then we're clear for the all-time high again on coin. But coin's looking interesting. Of course, that will hinge on the summit on Friday. So mark your calendars, pay attention. That one's going to move the market. Is there anything else really important to look at today? Not particularly. Not really. Okay, that's it. We had a really insane sell-off. It was very stressful for I'm assuming everyone, myself included. So, yeah, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description as well as the channel bio, and have a profitable day.